Should I take it off the other ones? Wait, hold on. Can I take it off the other ones?
And it's just on your shit.
Because I was so used to just...
Oh, Lord. Go ahead. Take it on now.
Hold on. Oh, my God.
We starting all over again.
Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart.
And I'm Derek J. I don't even know how this is going to work now. I don't know. Is it starting over? Like, what would happen?
Well, we just removed it. I don't know. I guess they'll see what they saw on the other channel. But yeah, this is supposed to be exclusively on the Gay Like Me channel.
And Craig, as always, was worried about himself and had to play on. And not only was not playing on the Gay Like Me channel, it was only playing on his channel.
No, because see, I'm so used to just setting up a live for my YouTube and my Facebook that I wasn't even. We haven't done a Gay Like Me in like a couple weeks. So it just wasn't in
a couple of weeks, like we do it every year of the week.
No, it's been longer than a couple of weeks because we were supposed to do one on Easter.
But then we did one other day.
Okay,
it's okay.
I forgot.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. But thank you for whoever that was in the comments that said, why is this not on the Gay Like Me channel?
Oh.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. So I don't even know how this is going to...
But what is on the channel is this.
That is there.
And you can support. Amen.
Since we're in our all white today.
Feeling real holy and,
Okay, so back to what I was trying to say.
Right.
Was that we normally have our shows already planned out.
Yeah.
But I feel like when we plan them out like that, we miss so much stuff that's really actually happening.
Right.
So we stopped our planning and was like, hey, let's just throw this one in here because Lil Nas X made such an uproar with his video.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? My Tango. What's it?
What's the name of his video?
Caught to sleep.
You can't even find good help. Let me see. Lil Nas X video.
Is
Montero.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was supposed to have notes today, but I didn't take my notes.
I know you were busy.
I was very much trying. Why are you looking at my phone?
Girl, I thought that was Jack right there, but that's Hopper.
Yes,
that's
Hopper. But he made such an uproar with his Montero video.
Yeah, he did.
And even though this happened a month ago, it's still a mess.
Y'all still are upset about that.
They're still upset about that. Then he turned around and released that shoe, the 666 shoe.
Right, which wasn't approved by Nike.
Well, but in law, because I read up on that one.
Come on, Attorney Johnson.
Yes, I read up on that one. And they were basically saying that once you purchase something from a company, it's legally yours. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want with it. But did you watch the video?
No, well, yeah, I saw the music video. Yeah,
okay.
But I was going to ask you. But even though he purchased that Nike sneaker, wasn't he selling a version of it or something with the? Because it was sold out.
It was sold out. Yeah. But by law, if I purchase your book,
yeah,
and then scratch your name off of it and put my name on there and sell it as my book,
don't get no ideas.
It's not unlawful.
Really?
Because I purchased it. It's mine now.
Okay. And then I guess because he altered it.
Yeah,
he put the 666 on
he altered it. So then therefore it's legally now his product.
They said Derek and Associates. Yes. Esquire.
But how do you feel about the video?
Okay, just from an artistic standpoint, I'm not even talking about the whole devil thing and all that, dancing with the devil and all that. From an artistic standpoint, I literally said to Carlton, nobody is making videos like this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really artistic. The other thing that I said to him was he had to have a creative hand in this. I said, I think that he probably co-directed, he probably was artistic director. Like I felt like this was his vision. And sure enough, when those credits rolled, it showed that he was co-director. He was, he had helped participate in directing it. Because it was just it felt so personal to me. And then in terms of the whole devil overtones, because they weren't overtones, the undertones, they were overtones. I just felt like, and again, maybe because I'm a writer, and I just kind of felt like he was speaking from a personal, Oh, excuse me, we got a little background. I thought he was inputting in the conversation. But I really felt like it was from a personal place. For me, I could tell that these were personal experiences that he was having, and he was speaking to a very personal situation. Whether it was, and I know a lot of people were so upset about it, and I feel like he was speaking as a Black gay person, that he, as a person that had been in church, experienced the church, the Black community, the Black family, all of that. He was responding to that. Like his artwork was in response to that. Years of being told that you're gay, you're going to hell. That was what I got from it.
Well, he did make a post on his Twitter and it said, "I spent my entire teenage years hating myself because of the shit y'all preach what happened to me because I was gay. So I hope you're mad and stay mad. Feel the same anger you teach us to have towards ourselves."
Yes.
So I mean, if coming from that space, like you said, from a personal space, I get it. Also, I feel like I'm also when do we lose people's right to artistic voice?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then there's a lot of other artists that did a lot of devilly overtone.
Madonna, Just Like a Prayer.
Katy Perry. What's the guy that did his face all crazy?
A black guy, white guy.
A white guy. I mean, he did it crazy for the music video.
You talking about Marilyn Manson?
No, he black.
I said white or black.
I said black guy. The Weeknd. Thank you.
Oh, The Weeknd.
Yeah, The Weeknd. He has a moment. Yeah, so they all have these moments here that nobody really spoke that much about, and I feel like it was such a really big thing from him that it just didn't really make sense for it to be such a big deal.
And for me, I just kind of felt like because he's gay, that became the thing that people really were angry at. That how dare you little black sissy, faggot, punk, whatever, speak like this. And the second part of that is, I just think that anyone who's religious, I don't mean spiritual, anyone who's religious people have been conditioned to believe and think that there's certain things that you don't say or do or challenge when it comes to religion, the church, or the people that work for the church, whether it's the pastor, because that's blasphemous if you do that. And I just think that oftentimes when you are a thinking person, a critical thinker, and you challenge that institution, that religious institution, oftentimes you're called demonic or whatever, because you go against the grain. And I just don't believe that.
But what bothered me the most about the whole conversation is that nobody really acknowledged why he felt that way.
Yeah,
everybody was kind of like, "Oh no, that's just demonic. That's just gay." But nobody never said, "Well, hey, why did you feel like you're gonna make this video? What brought you to this point to make this video?" Like, what? Nobody really acknowledged that part of it. And from a religious standpoint, and the religious leaders has so much to speak on it.
Yeah,
nobody never said, "You know what? Hey, we may play the part in you being able to do this. We played a part in you feeling this way.
Yeah,
this is why you did this video. Then how can we fix this?" And nobody never did that. So that's the part that really bothered me the most, because everybody just condemn, but nobody never really understood why he did it and tried to I say rectify, but reach out and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm part of this place. I'm part of this community. I'm sorry we made you feel that way. That was never. But how can we move forward from here?" And I think that's the part that most bothers me from all the condemnation of it. Nobody said, "Well, hey, how can we fix this? And how can we make this a better situation?" So that's the part that bothered me the most about the conversation.
And for a very long time, I have felt that the church as a body, as an institution, whether you're talking about black church, white church, just church, period. For a long time, I felt like the church has been long overdue an apology to the LGBTQ community. And what I mean by that is because church people, church folk, church intellects, church theologians, however you want to language it, have been very much so clear and aware that sexuality is instinctive, that it's not something that you can just pray away. It's not something that you can just change your mind about or decide against or whatever. But they've continued to perpetuate this this lie that if you just have the faith of a mustard seed, that you can change this. And really what Little Nas X is saying in this video is, you know, you all said that I'm going to hell because of, you know, just innately because of who I am. But this is who I am, and I can't change that. But no one in the church community, in the church world, has said, you know what, we've misjudged this. We've been misteaching, because we've seen it time and time again. Whether it was with James Cleveland, who had propensities, whether it was with Eddie Long, who also had propensities.
You love being so controversial.
Well, you know, I'm just, you know.
Jeez Louise.
You know, and that's why you have people like the Donnie McClurkins of the world, who we're going to talk about. And listen, please don't be messaging it in, you know, 2 and 3 days later from now, because Donnie McClurkin came on record and said on video, I meant to upload that video in here too, to share that. But he said that he's had relationships with men and women. So I'm not outing him. So don't message me and don't email me. But, you know, you have people like Donnie McClurkin and all of these other people in the church community who have wrestled with their sexuality simply because the church or the black community or the black family has said, you need to fix that. You need to change that. You need to pray that away. You need to stop doing that. You need to find you a good woman, or, you know, whatever it is. And these men are conflicted for no reason other than they've been told how they need to live and conduct their lives. You know what I'm saying? And I really do think that it requires a certain amount of courage to live your truth, to stand in your truth, to be who you are, and to not be apologetic, to be unapologetic, to be unabashed. You know, and I don't think we give a lot of gay people enough credit. You know, and especially gay people who move through the world so unapologetic. And I don't just mean like speaking your truth, but like if you're moving, like we were in the mall yesterday and I saw this guy, you know, we saw these three gay guys, and one of them had on a sweatsuit that was form-fitting, and he had a purse over his shoulders. You know what I'm saying? And like, I wouldn't have thought that he would be the kind of gay guy who would walk around with a purse. But I just looked at him, and I'm just such a people watcher anyway. And I remember just looking at him, just thinking like, what kind of courage does it take to just to walk in Lenox Mall with a purse on and a fitted sweatsuit and some slides on, some slippers on, you know what I mean? To like, and not care about what people think. You know, it takes courage. And a lot of people
telling me like I don't know.
What? Yeah.
I'm like, you explain this. Carlton.
And he had a full beard. Carlton is asleep.
Wait, your food is here.
Oh, Carlton. Yeah. The food is here. but you know, it does. You're right. Yeah. It does take courage. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Strong black woman.
A strong black woman. You know, and you know, and this might be a little bit off topic, but I remember, and I'm from Baltimore, but I remember you and I had this conversation years ago. I don't know if you remember it, but I remember you saying to me, "Oh, baby, I don't do all that in Baltimore."
Oh yeah, because I was very ghetto in Baltimore.
Like he didn't really wear his heels and purses. And stuff.
Golly, it was so rough there. I mean, geesh.
Don't give us too much.
I mean, it is what it is. So we want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Not yet. We're gonna bring everybody on the end. We get through all of our topics. Okay. Now this second topic is not really about in the LGBT community, but it's a big thing that's happening right now. It's still going on. And I want to get your take on the Cheryl Underwood and Sharon Osbourne. You know, at the beginning of this conversation, I said we went and had dinner and drinks with Carlton's boss, who was a white guy, and his partner is white. And one of the things that I said in that conversation was, oftentimes Black people feel like they have to move through the world shrinking, mincing words, you know, code switching. And I looked them two white men in their face, and I said to them, well, that's something that I no longer do. I think the last time I did, I probably was in high school. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you're young, you're under 21, you're still trying to figure out who you are and that kind of thing. You're finding your confidence. But I just don't do that, because code switching and trying to be likable for white people
hasn't gotten black people any further in the world. They still feel the way that they feel about black people. Mm-hmm. So why do I need to? I'm not doing that song and dance with y'all. I'm just not.
So if you guys do not know what happened, on the talk, March 10th.
It was something. Yeah, it was
March 10th. On the talk, Cheryl Underwood as Sharon Osbourne. You know, how did, and the thing was, and the thing, Cheryl asked Sharon a question. Mm-hmm. Sharon took the question way to the left, mm-hmm. and it caused a big uproar. So I watched it over and over and over again. I was, where did Sharon get that they was calling her racist? Because that never was the question. The question Cheryl asked her was like, hey, how do you explain yourself mm-hmm. to people that feel that Piers Morgan is racist mm-hmm. and that you're defending him?
Right, because they were talking about the Meghan Markle interview
yes.
that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry had with Oprah.
Right.
So that was where it started from, and Sharon defended him.
You need a fork?
Because Piers, he's a journalist in the UK. Of course, he's worked here in the States, but he's over in the UK now, and he's given Meghan Markle hell mm-hmm. as the first black, mm-hmm. I guess, princess in the royal family in the UK. And you know, all because they went on a date, they had coffee or whatever, and she wasn't interested,
right?
You know, so he's just had this personal vendetta against her since, and Sharon just felt the need to defend her friend. But I watched this other interview, and I think that Cheryl could have used a different word. Mm-hmm. And then they use it as other intro. I said, you know what? If she would have prefaced it that way, and they said that Piers Morgan made controversial remarks about Meghan Markle, mm-hmm. and so I think the word controversial would have rolled over better with her instead of saying racist. But once again, she wasn't calling Sharon a racist. She just asked her, "How do you explain yourself mm-hmm. for defending him?" Right.
You know, to people. Forks right here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what it was it was a really bad, and then she was cussing and fussing. It was a whole big old thing, and they did a whole internal investigation about it. What I will say is that Elaine Winsworth mm-hmm. and Cheryl Underwood did handle themselves very, very well. Mm-hmm. They had to handle themselves with proper black women. Because they couldn't get upset, they couldn't cuss, they couldn't fuss, they couldn't get out of character, and they did a very, very good job handling that situation and keeping the conversation moving on, even though they were being attacked.
Right. But you know, Charlemagne from the Breakfast Club, and I talked about this before on my live when all of this stuff was happening. He made a very good point, mm-hmm. and that is, you know, because a lot of black people were like, "Well, why didn't Cheryl really respond? Why was she so docile?" And you know, even after the whole thing erupted, you never heard from her. You didn't hear from her until last week when they brought the talk back.
Right.
But Charlemagne made a really good point, and that was, well, let me go back. Cheryl eventually said that she didn't speak out because she didn't want to be deemed as the angry black woman, mm-hmm. right? If she had responded with Cheryl and had like a whole verbal combat. Mm-hmm. But like Charlemagne said, when has being agreeable and likable and code switching, when haven't any of those things worked in our favor? White people haven't been any more amenable or agreeable or like, you know, they haven't accepted us anymore. So why do you feel the need to try to pacify them? Mm-hmm. And so that was what I said when we had dinner earlier with his boss. I was just like, listen, I don't pander to you all.
Did you hear such an angry black man? Like, why you
Carlton? Did I not say that? I didn't say it in those terms, but that may not be the exact words. But I told him, I said, listen.
So you trying to beef up the story right now?
How did I say it?
Well, that's okay. We're not talking to Carlton.
Because he tried to act like I didn't say. I looked them white people in their face and I said, listen.
Oh my God, Chuck. He act like you was out here like you was a damn Black Panther or something.
That's right. Stokely Carmichael Jr. But I told them, I said, you know, here's what I said to them. Oftentimes with black people, whether you're an artist, whether you're an entrepreneur, or you have a business or mm-hmm. whatever, sometimes we feel like we can only be successful if we have the support of the white community.
Mm-hmm.
When I believe the truth is we are enough to sustain our businesses because Black people spend more money on entertainment, cars, fashion, and hair and makeup and all that stuff than any other community of people, right? So because some of us believe, and I'm not one of those people, but because some Black people believe that you need the support of white people, white customers, sometimes we pander to them. Oh, how you doing, ma'am? How are you? And then the Black person show up and it's like, hey, how you doing? And I said to his boss today, I said, listen, there have been times that a Black person will give better service to a white customer, and I will call them out in front of the white person. And I'm like, I need you to give me the same customer service that you just gave this white woman right here. And won't blink.
So you just be out here stirring up trouble everywhere.
Because I need you to give me what you gave them. I need the same stellar. Huh? I was very nice in the way I said.
You want to be a sturdy Black woman.
I wasn't as aggressive as this, but I definitely said this.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes white people, sometimes they misconstrue our passion.
I mean, yeah, that's what I said. You give a very Black Panther today. Right?
Well, I'm getting because that's my people watching right here. But when I'm talking to them, because see the
you
thing
code
is,
switch.
No, I don't code switch.
You kind of code switch.
No. No.
Okay. You do it. So wait. No, Craig. Now, listen, I'm about to call you out. Now,
First of all,
you can't sit here and say that you don't do all these things.
No, first of all,
but now you go pander to the white man.
No.
You ain't pandering to him.
First of all, I don't code switch. But what I do believe is that in order for sometimes white people to get the message, you need to speak be very effective and firm.
Okay.
But sometimes when you come off aggressive, they miss the message. And that's not just white people, that's people, period. So it's important that people get your message. So I'm very firm in my words and how I say shit, and I'm looking them right in their eyes. But I may not be as aggressive as I am when I'm talking to Black people about white people, because then they'll miss the message.
Gotcha.
More aggressive than he was.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't more aggressive. He was very aggressive. And I said to him when we left the restaurant, I said, I didn't say I'm proud of you, but I said that was very good of you. I said, I see you were standing in your Blackness tonight.
Oh, he don't know who's standing in his Blackness.
Well, that was part of what we said in the conversation tonight. Sometimes because
that's a yes or no answer.
No, not all the time. But I believe relationships are about teachable moments. And I've said to him very early on, I think part of the thing that you're going to get from me is being firm in your Blackness around white people. And of course, there are things that I get from him too. But, in terms of this topic, like just be who you are. Like, don't shrink. Don't lose your Blackness. Be Black at all times.
Okay.
You're talking about bring Carlton. Oh my God. Y'all are too funny.
So that's that.
But I did want to talk about that Donnie McClurkin thing a little bit more.
We're not there yet.
Oh, go ahead.
We didn't start it.
Okay, go ahead.
We didn't even get to that conversation yet.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Golly. Jesus. So a conversation that everybody wanted to get our thoughts on was which is old news, but it's still an ongoing thing because there's still no real conclusion that came to it. It's about trans athletes.
Oh my God, yeah.
So they wanted to get our thought on trans.
Okay, you go first.
Athletes. So my honest opinion on it is that, I mean, it's a touchy subject. Do I believe that trans women, hope I'm saying this right. Do I believe that trans women should compete in sports
with females, with naturally born
women?
Yeah.
No. Do I think that?
So your answer is no.
Yes.
Okay.
Do I think that trans men should compete in sports with men,
naturally born
men? That one is a little bit.
Why?
Well, because I feel like,
because see now it sounds like the double standard.
No, it is a double standard. Because I do feel like women, and that's and I could be wrong. I'm not the expert on this, and don't get please don't y'all crucify me about this. This is just my opinion. And I may be wrong, but I do believe that like women can train themselves to be as strong, as fast as men. Because they're moving into a men's sport. Do I think? I don't think that women, cis women, should have to have that same type of pressure when competing
against a trans
woman. If that I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's where the I think when you go into and not when you go into that space, I think women go into the space of a trans man goes into the space with cisgendered men and understand that they're coming in at a disadvantage. So they have to work harder, stronger, faster to be into that space. I think when women go into their sport, I think I'm saying it right though. Am I saying it right?
I think
I'm trying to say because it's hard having this conversation without trying to offend nobody.
Right. Well, because I'm kind of like with Pat. I put her comment up a moment ago. I kind of feel like trans people, men and women, need their own category. They need their own sport.
Right.
Because I see it from both perspectives. I do see that trans women, although they were born male, they moved through life as a woman, because there's a difference between female and woman. They move through life as a woman, but genetically, you have some testosterone and things going on that these women, these natural born females, will not have. So just from the base level of competition, there are things that you're going to have genetically that they don't have, which gives you an advantage. So while you want to be treated equally and you want to be in the same categories and competition and stuff like that, I do think that it's different.
It's why in women's eyes, they see that man say he was married.
What?
But it swears he just said something and then
walked away.
And then walks around. But also in terms of like trans men, because they're born female,
right?
But they're living their life as a man. I still feel that there's a disadvantage, but I feel like if a trans man who is born woman feels like she can compete with naturally born men, then go ahead. But I just feel like if we're gonna not allow trans women to compete, I just feel the same with trans men.
No, that's understandable,
right? And
but
again, trans people, please don't email me and be all upset with me and listen. Don't.
But like I saw this video when they was talking about it,
yeah,
and it was like this trans woman. Carter has on a white shirt.
Throw on a white shirt. He got a white shirt.
He got a white shirt. I saw this video of this trans woman.
That's a good point. Go ahead.
Oh, this trans woman that went back to college, but she was like an older, and like she was 7'2", playing basketball with these college girls, and they were all like, these girls was like. Yeah, really. I mean, literally,
right.
Like she was kind of. They all came to like her elbow, and so and like,
when did they come?
Her elbow. They all came like her elbow, and it was just like, are y'all really about to let this happen? Like, come on now, like
I'm all for equality.
But some things is like, come, sit her down. Like she cannot play against these girls.
Right.
So yeah.
No, I just. And again, for the trans people that are watching, I really feel because part of the reason that I wanted us to start doing these in the first place when we first started doing them is obviously the bridge communities and, to open up dialogue and have conversation and stuff like this. I just believe that when you send a vibration into the universe through conversation, that you can affect change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, we'll provoke people out there to think differently and to move differently in the world. But I think sometimes for me, it's hard to have conversations around race and to have conversations around trans, because sometimes trans people, and I know I'm going out on a limb and saying this, sometimes trans people are offended when we are really just trying to understand. I understand that there's a lot of persecution, a lot of discrimination and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes we're really just trying to understand.
Just trying to figure it out.
Right. And I've said so many times that I've learned more about trans people, or trans women in particular, through Madison, because she does have a thicker, tougher skin. So I can ask things and she's not easily offended because she knows I'm not being malicious in asking a certain question. But the same rings true for gay men. Sometimes we can be so sensitive, so hypersensitive, that when somebody that is not gay asks a question, sometimes we get really offended. You know what I mean? So the only way to really affect change and bridge communities is if we open up that pathway for dialogue.
Well said, Craig.
Thank you very much.
Even in your drunkenness. So our last topic before we start opening up to our guests is Donnie McClurkin.
Oh, God.
And so if you guys didn't get to watch Uncensored on TV One, Donnie McClurkin made a statement that he feels he's going to be single for the rest of his life because he doesn't know what a woman wants or how to, basically, please.
He don't. What you said, man? He said, but he knows what a man wants.
Right. He didn't know. So he doesn't know what a woman wants. He doesn't know how to please a woman. So he doesn't know if he will be able to, ever be with her. It's like he'll be single for the rest of his life. He talked about, like he said, he's been with both men and women, and he's done a lot before.
I bet you have.
So, yeah.
You go first.
I always went first about the trans people.
Well, my thing is with Donnie is I really do think that he's an example or a demonstration of so many black men. And the reason I'm saying black men, it doesn't mean that there aren't any white men or Hispanic men that fall in the same category. But these conversations are centered on black people. But I just really feel that he's a product of the black church. Doesn't know how to think for himself. Like religion was given to him. Church was given to him. So whoever taught him church, whoever taught him religion, also passed on their ideas and beliefs to him. So for me, I had, at some point I had to realize, well, because like I said at the top of this conversation, my grandmother was Catholic. I was raised Baptist. And so what?
You don't have to do this Catholic is not the trigger of this. But
my point is,
church is not a trigger of this. You're doing it for no reason.
Well, no, my point is, my point is, I do this because my grandmother taught me how to pray.
Okay, but you don't have to do this when you try to tell us that you.
Well, I like to give.
Okay,
but if my grandmother hadn't taught me how to pray, if my grandmother hadn't taught me how to pray, or if my grandmother wasn't Catholic, I wouldn't do this. But because I do this, there came a point.
What is that called?
Yes.
No, but it's called something.
I don't know what this is called.
I understand. But you know everything else.
I don't know if this is. It's the Holy Trinity.
I know, but what is the sign?
I don't know what it means.
What it's called.
Right. But that just proves my point. I do it because that's what was given to me by my grandmother.
I'm Googling it while you
I'm
Googling it. Go ahead.
So there came a point where I had to say, well, what do I believe? Because she gave this to me. This is what she passed on to me. And so just like I was raised Baptist, were you raised Christian? Or
I'm Seventh-day Adventist.
Seventh-day Adventist. But you're Seventh-day Adventist because that's what your parents gave you. But if your parents were Jehovah's Witness, or if they were Jewish, that's what you would be. And so at some point, I believe every individual should say, well, what do I believe? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just subscribe to this because this is what my family gave me. Mm-hmm. What do I believe about life and about the world? And so, you know, in terms of Donnie McClurkin, I believe that he's conflicted.
I don't even know what to even ask Google. Go ahead. I was trying to figure it out. I was like, go ahead. The sign of the cross.
Right. Oh, the sign of the cross. Is that what it's called? Okay, the sign of the cross. Thank you, Lavelle. But you know, so I think Donnie McClurkin is a product of that same institution, that whole church thing. So again, when I question things that we were taught about church or religion or whatever, I'm not questioning God. I believe in God. I believe in spirituality. I pray every single night. I get down on my knees and I pray. But I question some of the teachings, the things that we were given, because some of that is systematic. Some of that stuff is rudimentary. It's like we do it just because it just becomes habit, because it's because it's tradition. And I don't believe that everything is blasphemous. I think that's what man has conditioned us to believe, to not question shit, so they can keep us in control, keep certain order or certain decorum when it comes to church. Again, going back to religion from the beginning, religion or Christianity was given to us by white people. Mm-hmm. And it was a way for white people or the colonizers to control us, to keep us from running away and questioning and this and the third. But now,
how you feel about white people?
But now we see black people using religion to control other black people,
right?
To seduce black people for their tithes and their offerings, and building this church fund, and we're trying to do this, and
it goes back to slavery, as the pastor was. Sorry.
No, the thing. Wait a minute. I enjoy your company, but it's just so.
It's just like the voice of God. It just comes out of nowhere, and it's like
it's slightly mumbled, slightly.
Right.
It's like, wait,
what is he saying? And it's like there've been plenty of times that he's been in the background and he never says a word. And now tonight he just got so much to say.
Well, that's because it's an open forum conversation. He's part of the audience.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You're
right. That's what Monique said in Precious. Yeah, I shut my fat ass up.
So I feel that Donnie McClurkin is conflicted.
Yeah.
I believe that Donnie McClurkin is a gay man. But who am I to be what they are? I feel that, and I think that he don't feel that out. He doesn't think that he can come out as a gay man and still be in the space that he's in and have the same accolades that he has now. Especially it's like it doesn't, because it really doesn't work well being in the church and saying that you was gay and you still gay.
Well, you see what happened with B. Slade, but it was Tonet.
Yeah, Tonet. Yeah,
Tonet originally.
Yeah,
they pushed him right on out. So it happens. But I mean, and not even just in the gospel world. It's the reason that Luther Vandross never came out.
Who said Luther Vandross was gay?
Then you gonna sit here and try to pretend like you didn't know that Luther was your sister?
No, nobody. That was never proven here or said. That's just hearsay.
Let me explain something to you. A rose can smell a rose. So he didn't have to say it. Now, I'm only mentioning Luther because he's no longer with us. Now, there are a lot of the children that are still living that I could mention.
Who? You don't mind mentioning nobody else? Put it out there. You talk about all the church people. You talk about James Cleveland.
So he's dead too.
Well, you said it was some other people you said the other day.
Yeah, and see that wasn't James Cleveland that came out. James Cleveland, was seducing these young boys that he was adopting, one of which he passed HIV to. That's documented.
I hear about that hearsay. Jesus,
there ain't no hearsay. That was documented.
But I do hope that at some point in Donnie's life that he, comes to terms with who he is, and who he wants to be, and be free and being able to
But I don't even really feel sorry for him. I see some of the comments where somebody said, Lee said, I'm tired for Donnie.
But yeah, I mean,
I might be tired for him, but I don't really feel sorry for him because he was the same person that about 10 years ago said something about he was what did he say? He was
I don't follow Donnie the story.
I don't follow it either. But what did he say? He said something about he'd been delivered.
Yeah.
He said he was delivered. You know, and you know, my thing is,
but see, the thing about it, but you have to be delivered to be.
He wasn't delivered. He was just abstaining. There's a difference between being delivered from something and abstaining. I could abstain tomorrow. That don't mean that I'm no longer gay. I'm just abstinent.
But
we know that ain't happening.
But the abstaining is a form of deliverance to the church.
Mm-mm.
To the church, it is.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
What do you guys think? Pop the thing in there. There you go.
Look, allegedly abstaining because
right.
You know the streets have been talking about him for years. You know how he had these.
Click the link, you guys. We want to talk to you guys on our 4 topics we posted up to. We talked about tonight. Lil Nas X.
That's a good point.
Oh.
Lacey said, 2, why are we so quick to want a celebrity to carry the banner of representation? I'm gonna tell you the answer to that. Because I used to get into that. I used to be like, well, why didn't Queen Latifah come out and just let us know that she's gay? You know, why doesn't this one come out and that one? You know, because part of it is we see that the world loves these people and love them for their work. And so it's like, well, if you all embrace her or him, why you should be able to love all of us.
But that's that. But you know, but that also is not true because we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
And the reason they don't, because they also seen it happen.
Yeah.
Yes, they love and embrace Queen Latifah, but Queen Latifah still has not said.
She still has not.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So the thing is that do you think that if she would have said it earlier on in her career, if they would have embraced her as much as she has?
Mm-hmm.
You saw what happened, even with.
But I think sometimes that's a scapegoat. I think sometimes black artists will say, well, I can't come out because I won't be as successful. It will show in my work.
Right.
I think that's just a wall. But what were you going to say? Even if something you were going to.
But was even with Ellen, even though she's a white woman, when she decided to be like, I'm a lesbian.
Oh, she got shut down for a while, though.
A whole while.
She was almost broke.
So
I watched her story. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So the thing is that who wants to be the scapegoat? And then why, as black people, do we want to make somebody the scapegoat?
But here's the thing that I would say. Yeah, Tevin Campbell was another one that was killed. His career was just shot down.
Mm-hmm.
But see, he was.
Hell, Jaheim. Why is it?
Wait a minute. What?
What are you talking about? Don't act like that. Don't y'all sit there act like I'm not out here. Was it? Wait. Yeah, it was Jaheim. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, you know, and baby.
You know, here's a little story. You ready for a story? And then
please do not be like Uncle cousin Ben with your story.
No.
Okay.
But it was something else that you were saying before you said Jaheim, and I was about to go into some direction, but I don't remember now. But let me tell you this little story about Jaheim. He came here to Atlanta, and I was sitting on the first row. My friend, a friend of mine had tickets. She had tickets for the show, and she kept saying, "Why is he looking at you?" I knew he's part of the community then. Look, if he could have sopped me up with a biscuit that day, he would have.
Did he?
No.
I mean,
No. But I can't remember what you said something I was going to talk about
Ellen.
Oh, so yeah, so like, huh?
When Tank just did a whole thing about Tank's my friend.
The streets. Listen, I'm from the DMV. The streets been talking about Tank for years.
But the thing, listen, and it's so funny y'all said it because on our YouTube channel, on the Gay Like Me YouTube channel, when he's going, it's a Tank pops up a lot, like his interviews. And
what are you trying to say? That the algorithms know that he's part of the community?
No. I'm not saying that. I don't think that Tank is gay.
I don't think he's gay. He might be bisexual.
I don't think that he's bisexual. I don't think that he. Once again,
like you just told the girl on the last gay, like you said, you're a lesbian who likes men. You think he's a straight man who likes gays?
So do I think? First of all, I don't know Tank business, so let's be very clear
about Tank. I'm telling you what the streets have told me for years.
I understand what the streets have told you.
I don't put my mouth on the kids that I don't know nothing about. But go ahead. What were you gonna say? Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I
used to hear a lot about Boris Kojo too now. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You cannot be throwing these today. I don't have no conversation for these things. I know these people, so I can't just be out here speaking. But what I will say is this: regardless of what the streets say, what I do appreciate about Tate is that one, he does speak on just the humanness of people. You know, he's one and maybe the only R&B person that's done gay pride. You know, and so what I will say, regardless of what he is, he supports the gay community, and that alone within itself is commendable. Like, you know, and I think that as Black people, you know, we see that and taking that. Has he maybe dibbled a dabble? Maybe. Does that make him gay? No. Does it make him bisexual? No.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yes, well, how much dibbling and dabbling makes you bisexual? 2 dick sucks, or you know, what is it? Is there?
But you know, we had this conversation, especially from a man's perspective. We've had this conversation
because before. A lot of you women have played around when you were in college. Don't think.
But the thing with. Oh, Lord.
We dropping this link down here. Go ahead and add on this link, y'all.
Yeah, so like once again, I would say this about that part. My thing is this. At the end of the day, I think that a lot of people look at dibbling and dabbling and see something more than what it really is. Mm-hmm. Meaning, I think that when women or people that think about 2 men dibbling and dabbling, they think of more of an intimate, sensual,
like a relationship,
which we know 90% of the time that's not what that is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, if you lay back and close your eyes and the man suck your dick and the woman suck your dick, you're gonna come off of both of them. So does that mean that you're bisexual because you get your dick sucked by a man? No.
Double 039 said that's just called experimenting. I call it tipping through the tulips.
But what does that mean?
But I think as a human, that's just natural.
Yeah, I think it's part of it is human behavior. You know, when I say tip through the tulips, I mean like every now and then he might every now and then enjoy the comfort of a man. He tips through the tulips from time to time.
You like that aggressiveness.
Can we have somebody in there? Can you bring them on?
What you want to say, Bijan?
What's going on? Hold on. Oh, wait, let me. We had nobody talking the whole time. That's why this week I was like, "Hey, Bijan, how are you?"
I'm doing well, Derek. How about yourself?
I'm well, thank you. So, what you want to add into this conversation? To these many topics we have right now.
These are some really good topics that y'all hitting on tonight. First and foremost,
thank you.
My notes here.
Okay,
is that a napkin?
Yes. I was thinking I had to multitask. But the first topic that you guys were discussing, I came in on was the Black church and just supporting. Hell, I say supporting each other because the Black church, besides not supporting the LGBTQ community, they don't support other people outside of the church, like homeless, prostitutes, sick and shut in. They support the ones that's in the church. But they don't support. You rarely see a lot of churches now more than ever going out and giving out clothes or giving out food to the homeless or doing different things. It seems like anything that's a hot topic, like doing corona tests to get you in the spotlight, is where you will see majority of the Black church now. Mm-hmm. Anything that's in the spotlight, any hot topic that's going on, like Asian brutality, you see them on the front lines trying to raise awareness for the Asian folks and try to get people to stop being so violent towards them. But when it comes to the LGBT community and all these trans women that keep ending up in garbage cans and dumpsters and cars and shit like that, you don't see no type of help with that. And that's at your own home. You know, it's really discerning to me to have something that has turned into a mega fill in the blank. The Black church is a mega, whatever you want to call it, it's a mega thing. And the saddest part is that a lot of these religions are things that we didn't even know about until people came over as slaves and had it force-fed down their mouth. And it's like we're gonna take everything that Master give us and make better, or try to make better out of it. We took the damn leftover food, and now all of us walking around here with high blood pressure, diabetes, and can't see, can't talk, can't walk, and getting legs and fingers and shit amputated. Now we're gonna take religion and try to make it better for us. No, we praise kings and queens and gods and goddesses in Africa, just like the Greeks did, just like the Romans did, just like everybody else that knows this book. Why is it that we are now using this to ostracize and damn and condemn our own people? But here's the gag is. Here's the real gag. We even do it in the community to ourselves. So it's like, how can you sit up there and ask for someone to accept you when you can't even accept yourself? Same way the black people running around here trying to get acceptance from the white folks, trying to do what they can to do for the white folks. And me, I went to a predominantly white school all my life, from K4 all the way to senior year, with the same people. These were like my brothers and sisters. So for having these issues now, where it's a white thing, it's a black thing, sometimes it does get hard to see, because when I look in the mirror, when I wake up in the morning, I wake up as a black man first. But when I was in school, it's not so much as I thought myself as white. I just didn't see that. I didn't see that color. I knew who my family was. We are deeply Indian. I know who my family is. I know that we weren't slaves. I know that we was already here in America. I know that we're black. But when I looked out my eyes, I didn't see, oh, they're white, they're this, they're that. I didn't see none of that. It wasn't until I got grown. Now I'm seeing a lot of issues that I guess I had rose-colored glasses on in high school, because I didn't see that. Like I said, these are my brothers and sisters. We knew each other from kindergarten, doing colors, all the way up to the tassel being turned on the damn cap. So I didn't see that. But and I bring that up to say about the Cheryl and the Sharon thing. Sometimes you do have to watch what you say to certain people, because just like in Black Hollywood, where you get blackballed and blacklisted just for disagreeing with someone, you have to do that in media too. People need to stop acting like everything is so, oh, this is black, this is white, this is black, this is white. No, at the end of the day, a lot of this shit is just shit. Who's going to clean it up? That's the question. Who's going to clean it up? Because, yeah, you can sit there and say, well, Cheryl did a good job at, saying what she needed to say in a way that didn't come off as being an angry black woman, but, Sharon is still da-da-da. You can say a lot of that, but at the same time, we do that to each other. To each other. There are a lot of black stars that you be like, damn, what happened to them? Well, because they spoke up, or they stood up for themselves against somebody black in the industry. They had their shit pulled. Now you don't see them. They don't work with them.
Well, we saw that with Janet Hubert and Will Smith.
Yes.
Which we do see that Janet Hubert is not going to be on. She's the last OT.
Yes, I saw that.
She has an acting gig now. Yes.
So that's the main thing. And you did it, and you did it in a way where you knew people were going to notice a difference. You knew you did that. You know what I mean? And like he said, he felt bad about it now because he's older, he has kids, and it seems like when people get kids, then all of a sudden you start seeing the shit that you put out there in the world because you're so afraid that it's going to happen to your kids. So he saw that, but at the same time, this woman was without a job. She was the best Aunt Viv. The other one was just a seat filler. And that's no shade, no tea, but if you look at a lot of the plots and a lot of the different stories that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air had after she left, she was a seat filler. There's no way Janet Hubert, Aunt Viv, would have went along with a lot of that shit that happened them final season. You know what I'm saying? But we do it to ourselves. And then the trans athletes, I'm because I'm on TV now, so I have to make it quick, okay? So, but the trans athletes, do you know they're trying to pass a bill where they check the genitalia of athletes?
It passed. Was it in California? I think it passed in California. I saw that.
That makes
where if they have questions about whether or not you're trans or not, they can actually ask you to expose yourself.
Now, if you catch me on the right night, I may pretend like I'm trans so I can get, some type of something. But to be serious about it, that is so. I can't even fathom a word. That to me is reminiscent of the Nazis making men have sex with dead corpses to check and see if they are homosexuals.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that feels like. That feels like someone taking you to a police station, knowing that you're a boy with a wig on or a trans girl, because there have been both. We're not going to leave one or the other out. Making you get undressed just to prove a point. That is so barbaric. That's so tasteless, tactless. That's just is inhumane. It's really inhumane.
Yeah, it is. That's that they should not. I mean, but they make crazy laws all the time that we don't, and that's something that we have to speak out against and do our best to change it. Because that's not cool.
Like now we see
right. We do need to speak out. But the thing about it is like as long as Jordans come out, as long as there are Starbucks around, as long as there are things that keep people's minds off what really matters, we will never get there. Everybody sat up there and they protested when George Floyd died. They protested. They had all these protests. They had all these protests. Where they at now? Everybody's still doing their work individually, but where is the protest? Like Big Mama say, we are all separable. When you bring us together, you can strike a mighty blow. Everybody needs to come together and rally together because one way or another, like I look at that movie, The Black Messiah. He wasn't just preaching to black folks. He was preaching to everybody. Anybody who has ever felt sick, shut in, down, depressed, low, treated less than, made to feel like a third class citizen, anybody that has anybody who has been made to feel like you're not the rich and wealthy can identify to everything that everybody goes through. It is the black issue. Black Lives Matter. I'm a black man. Black Lives Matter. But if that's the only thing that we're focusing on, we're missing the bigger picture. I can see why people say all lives matter because at the end of the day, they do. If my brother down the street can't feed his kid and he's white, do you think that I should get the privilege more than he should because I'm black? And
now, Bo, hold on now. We're going to stop you right there now, Bijan. I'm not. I know. That's a whole nother conversation that we're not going to go into right now.
Tell me.
Oh, yeah. Bye, Bijan. I'm not playing with you. Thank you. Bye.
Listen, that whole black thing.
I enjoyed this tonight.
I did too.
Keep it up, and we'll sprinkle another one in. And we can do it quicker now. Now we know this is what we want to do. So when stuff is happening, we can just kind of jump in and just jump into the conversation with it all.
Right.
But next week, but not next week, in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks,
we're going to be talking about the damage.
Yes, indeed.
that going to a black barbershop does to, gay men. So the black barbershop experience. So I didn't realize he put, shears in the barber pole.
Oh, you didn't see that?
I know. I'm just not seeing it. But yeah, we want to have this conversation. So as black gay men, we would love you to kind of drop in an email to us at glmconvo@gmail.com because we would love to talk to you guys about that, about the experience as a black gay man in the black barbershop.
And if you want to participate in that conversation, as Derek said, please email us. We're going to have it 2 weeks from today,
which is May 2nd.
May 2nd. And wait a minute. We can't do it on that. Wait, I'm going to be out of town for my birthday.
See, now you the one made me go in there. Now you the one that made me go in there and change the damn date.
I just thought about it. I want to be in town.
So do you want to push it to the next week, to the following week?
Yeah.
Okay, so that following week
will be May 9th.
May 9th.
All right, so even though the flyer says May,
we're gonna change the flyer. Now you the one. Now Craig the one.
No, we ain't gonna change the flyer because that's gonna cost us money. And y'all don't really be wanting to send nothing to this GLM combo.
Oh yeah, right.
Cash App. So just know, mark your calendar now
for May 9th.
May 9th. It's gonna be on Sunday.
Yes.
I just thought about it. I'm sorry. And
Where
I didn't. And
where you going?
I'll tell you when we get off of here. But I'm sorry.
I mean, you did invite me, but then you never. But then you kind of just went away with the information, and we never. You just threw some stuff out there. I didn't know you planned something.
At any rate, we're looking forward to this conversation, and we got some emails too.
Yeah, we already got some emails.
So I think that we should open it up to not just gay men.
Oh yeah, but with women in the beauty salon.
Yeah, and maybe even trans men
right.
or trans women. I don't know. Maybe trans women.
It's open to everyone.
It's open to everybody because and what I'm in particular looking forward to hearing is conversations where you may have code switched, going into the barbershop, trying to pass it straight, or participating in conversation with a straight barber about a gay client who was maybe flamboyant or whatever, and you sat there and you talked about this gay person who was, obviously gay, and you, because you wanted to fit in and participate, that you indulged in that conversation. So whatever experience, or if you maybe were intimidated going into the barbershop, or have you avoided going to the barbershop, we want to hear from you.
You're watching the wrong one.
Oh. But at any rate, that's the next conversation. And then before we close,
yes,
I want to let you guys know that one of the things that's been on my mind, because it seems like COVID is starting to subside just a little bit in certain cities. We're really thinking about coming to a city near you. And so we want to know what cities you would like for us to come to. I actually happened to be at an event space yesterday, and I called Derek on FaceTime. I was like, baby, we could do it here at this place in Atlanta, So, let us know what cities you guys would be open to coming if we come to your city. And basically what would happen is we would do this, but it would be live. We would have your conversation. We would have your questions and your answers. And we would also maybe have like little...
But don't start promising the answers, nothing. They get to them like, what Craig on April 14th said.
Right.
Yeah, so that's...
Well, basically, it'd be a nice experience. And I have some books over in the corner selling.
Because he peddled them books, Sean.
Especially since y'all don't like to send nothing over here to the GLM comment.
Oh, right.
But yeah, so anyway, listen, just keep that in mind. Email us and let us know if you want to participate in the conversation, but also what cities you think we should come to. And then we'll look at that and kind of get an idea. And then, we'll be in the city near you.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching with us. And we will see you on May 9th.
Bye. My birthday is May 4th. # he'll be 45. My Cash App is the writer. All right, bye.